Ora, eu sinceramente nem acho que eu devo.
Look, honestly, I don't even think I should comment on it, because I don't see it as responsible or serious when the president of a country the size of the United States threatens the world through the internet. It's not right. He needs to understand that the world has changed. We don't want an emperor. We are sovereign nations. And if he thinks he can impose tariffs, well, other countries also have the right to do the same. There's a principle of reciprocity. At least, that's what I believe. I find it very misguided and highly irresponsible for a president to go around threatening others on social media. Frankly, there are other ways and proper forums for a president of a country as important as the United States to speak with other nations. Look, I'm not going to comment on this Trump and Bolsonaro matter. I have more important things to focus on than that. This country has laws, this country has rules, and this country has one owner, the Brazilian people. So let them mind their own business, not ours. Within BRICS, we are convinced that we no longer want a world under tutelage. We no longer want a Cold War, we no longer want disrespect for sovereignty, and we no longer want war. That is why we are seriously discussing the need for structural change, including in the UN Charter. And what's most serious is that the UN Security Council, which should serve as the model for preventing such wars, has actually been one of the main promoters, starting with the war in Iraq, the invasion of Libya, and the death of Gaddafi. We will have to create conditions, because every year we go to the UN General Assembly, and each president gives whatever speech they want, then leaves. They don't listen to anyone else. It's like an ideological shopping mall. Everyone sells what they want, buys what they want, with no obligation to listen or engage. In other words, the UN needs to hold a proper conference to seriously discuss the issue of wars. The world needs to find a way for our trade relations without having to use the dollar. When it's with the United States, sure, it goes through the dollar. But when it's with Argentina, it doesn't have to. When it's with China, it doesn't have to. When it's with India, it doesn't have to. And when the focus is Europe, people discuss the euro. In other words, no one ever decided that the dollar should be the global standard currency. It just happened that way. Obviously, we have a responsibility to move forward with great care. Our central banks need to discuss this with the central banks of other countries. But this is something that has no way back. There's no turning back. It will happen gradually, until it becomes consolidated.